What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be covering how to run Google Ads for Shopify stores. I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about running Google Ads, including how to set up tracking on your Shopify store so everything tracks properly, how to do keyword research, how to actually write your ads, and how to properly structure your campaign. And I'm going to be doing a live walkthrough of all of these steps. And how I set up my campaigns might be a little bit different than how you're used to seeing it, but it's an extremely powerful way to run your Google Ads, which you'll see why. And finally, how to optimize your ads. So once you have everything running, you'll actually know what to do after that. So whether you're a beginner or advanced, you'll have everything you need to start running Google Ads for your Shopify store. I actually did a video recently on how to run Google Ads for Amazon products, but I had a lot of people say to me, hey, I'm drop shipping, or I have an Amazon product, but I don't want to run traffic to Amazon. I actually want to run traffic to my own store. How do I do that? So I thought it'd be a great idea to do this video. But if you do have an Amazon product and you're interested in running traffic to Amazon and the specific details of how to do that, go ahead and watch that video after this one. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to put a like on it, and let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So the first thing we want to do is set up Google tracking for our Shopify store. And the way you want to do that is go into your Google Ads account, go up to your tools and settings up top, and just click on conversions. And that will bring you to this page here. And then you want to go ahead and just create a new conversion here, and we can call it website. So we're sending it to a website, and it'll bring you to this page. So the first thing you want to do is select purchase as the category, because we're going to be tracking purchases. Then you can name it whatever you like. I already have a tag called purchase, so I'm going to call this website purchase. And then you want to go down here and select use different values for each conversion. And the reason why you want to do that is because you have different price points on your Shopify store. So if someone buys one product and a different product, or however it goes, you'll be able to track the different price points. It's not the same for every single time. And then you want to go ahead and select every count, so every single purchase is tracked. And then for the conversion window and all of this, you can keep that all the same. And then for down here, just go ahead and turn that off, and go ahead and hit create and continue. And then what you want to do is install the tag yourself. So go ahead and click this. And the global site tag is basically putting the Google tracking onto all your pages on Shopify. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and copy that. Then go onto your Shopify store, click into themes, and then you want to hit edit code. And then you'll want to put it into theme.liquid, because that's your main theme file. And you just want to place it in the header tag. So you'll see here, this is the end of the head tag. It has a little slash in there. So you want to place it right before that. You just go ahead and put it there, make a little space, and then paste it in there. And then what we'll want to do is set up the actual purchase conversion event. So go ahead and scroll down here. You want to do it on page load, so that's fine. And go ahead and copy this snippet here. Then you want to go back into your Shopify store, and on the bottom left, there's a settings. So hit your settings, and then go to checkout settings. And then you'll want to scroll down to the additional scripts section. And what you're going to want to do is put in your global site tag here. So go ahead, put in your global site tag. And then what you want to do is paste your event tag. So just go ahead and hit paste. And there we go. Now for Shopify, we want to make some edits to this code in order to make it track better. And I'm going to have this code down in the description of the video, but basically what we're doing here is we're switching up the value, so the value changes to the price of the cart each time someone purchases, and we can update the currency just in case you have a Shopify store that's in a different currency, and we can add the transaction ID as the order ID. So when you go and you look up your orders in Google Analytics or wherever you want to do it, you'll be able to track it back to that particular order. So I already have this code copied, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here. And I did want to mention that if you're having problems with duplicate conversions, meaning you got one conversion but it's showing 2 or 3 or 4 when you only have one, there is an additional code you can put onto your snippet that will help with that. So right here it says if first time accessed, and then end if. So you're going to put if first time accessed at the top of your snippets, and then you're going to put end if at the bottom. And I'm also going to be including this code into the bottom of the video description as well, so you can see that. But this is what it looks like here. You'll have if first time access at the top, then your event code snippet, and then end if. And basically what that is if the customer views that page for the first time, it will track that conversion. And if they come back and reload the page or do anything like that, then it won't track it again because they already went through it and got tracked once. So now let's get into campaign setup. And before we get into keyword research or writing ads or anything like that, I wanted to cover the most important concept I'm going to be showing you with the campaign setup, and that is SKAGs. So what is SKAGs? It's kind of a weird word, right? So it's actually an acronym for single keyword ad groups. What that means is that each keyword will be its own ad group within the campaign. I actually learned this many, many years ago from a guy named Jonathan Dane, who is the founder of one of the largest Google PPC ad agencies in the world, and he actually invented SKAGs, or at least popularized it as a method for setting up the campaigns because it has a lot of advantages. And some of those advantages are it has more control and better performance. So because you're doing one keyword for each ad group, you have more control over the bid and what you do with it. You also get a higher quality score because you're able to write your ads in a way that's hyper relevant to that keyword. So that means when the customer lands on it, they know they're in the exactly right place, and you'll get a higher quality score, which is a score Google gives you, which can result in cheaper ads and better placement. Next, let's get into keyword research. Now, one of the benefits of single keyword ad groups is it helps to simplify your keyword research. What you're going to be looking for is root keywords. What a root keyword is the smallest keyword phrase you're willing to bid on that's still relevant to your product. So for this setup, I'm going to be using vegan protein powder as an example product during this campaign setup. So for example, you could have vegan protein powder for women as a keyword, but we want to narrow that down to its root keyword, which would be vegan protein powder. And you'll see during a setup why we're doing that, but we're going to get these keywords that cover basically all these different variations without having to find all these different variations, right? So the best place to start for your keyword research is actually just use Google Keyword Planner. It's a free tool that's inside of your Google dashboard and that makes it easy to find your keywords. So I'll go ahead and walk through how to do that right now. So how you find your Google Keyword Planner is just come to your tools and settings, and off to the left, you'll see Keyword Planner. And all you have to do is type in a keyword or two that you know are good keywords for that product, and it will find all the suggestions for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in here, vegan protein powder, and hit get results. So now what I'm going to do is look for relevant keywords. So plant-based protein powder is a relevant keyword, so I'm going to take that. But here's a good example. Here's plant protein powder. This is an example of a root keyword. So instead of saying plant-based protein powder, I'm just going to say plant protein powder, and that will cover all my bases. And as you're going through here, you actually want to look for negative keywords as well. Those are keywords you don't want to show up inside of your campaign. So for example, if you have a vanilla protein powder and you're seeing chocolate as a search that's showing up a lot, you want to make note of that because you just want to get rid of searches that contain chocolate because your protein powder is not chocolate. So why spend money on people searching for that when you don't have to? So it just helps you save money up front as well if you can find keywords that you know are not going to be good for your keyword or relevant for your keyword, and just go ahead and make a list of those at the same time that you're doing your regular keyword research. And the next thing I like to do before actually setting up my campaign is to write my ads. The reason why is because during your campaign setup, you're going to need your ad copy anyways to complete the process. So I just like to do my keyword research and write my ads before setting up the campaign. So I have everything in place. I can just set up the campaign and get it running. And you want to create at least 2 ads. This way you have a split test to be running to see which one is performing best. And the way I set up my ads is you want your first headline, and you'll see this as we're setting it up. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, don't worry, because during the live setup, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you want your first headline and display URL to be your exact keyword. So if the keyword I'm setting it for the ad group is vegan protein powder, we want the headline to be exactly vegan protein powder, so we're hyper targeted to the customer that's searching for that. And the rest is up to you. So for the description, I'd include benefits. I'd include a call to action at the end, like shop now or find it here or something like that. And you want to make sure that your ads are different enough to split test. And if you're not sure what to write for your ad copy, the best thing to do is just look at your competitors and see what they're doing. Take some of your keywords, put them into Google, and find the ads. So you can see here, ad, and if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll find more ads as well. And just look at what they're saying. For example, here, they're saying that it will maximize their energy and new potential. So that's an angle you could take with yours. Control your cravings, fuel your adventures. That's a different angle you could take. So take a look at these, pull out some lines or some concepts you think are great, and you can use those in your ads as well. All right, so let's get into the best part, which is the actual campaign setup. So when you go to create a new campaign, you'll see these options here. And really what these options are is when you select them, Google will pre-select some defaults for you based on the goal that you selected. So you could select, for example, website traffic, or you could select sales, but the best way that I like to do it, at least at the beginning, is actually just create a campaign without goal guidance. And the reason why is that way I'll be able to select all the options I want without Google pre-selecting all these options for me. And then what you want to do is select search, because we're going to be doing a search campaign. And then you don't really have to worry about this part here, because again, Google's trying to pre-select some options for you based on your goals. So we can just go ahead and skip this part because I'm going to show you the best way to set it up. And then name the campaign what you want. Usually I name it after the product that I'm advertising or however you want to do it. And then come down here, you want to go ahead and get rid of the display network, because the display network is those little banner ads that you see on websites, that you see on like news websites or blogs, usually those little banner ads. And that's not what we want. We want the search network. And I also like to, at the beginning, get rid of the Google search partners. Now, if you're advanced and you know how to look into the reports, and you know how to see the different placements and see if Google search partners is working for you, go ahead and keep it in there if you want to. But if you're just starting out, or if you're just getting campaign going, I like to start without the Google search partners, because sometimes that can drive your cost up, but sometimes it does work. So keep it in mind for later when you're testing out new campaigns. And then we go down to location. So I'm set to United States. If you're going to be running ads in different countries, you can go ahead and add those here. And also make sure you go into location options. And you want to target people who they default to this one, right? To people in or who show interest in your targeted location. You don't want that. You only want people who are actually inside of your targeted location. So go ahead and select this one here. And then exclude people. So if you know that there's certain, for the United States, for example, if you know there's certain states that just do not buy your product, or if you're in a different country, if you're trying to do like all of Europe, but you know there's certain states that you don't want to do, or certain countries, I should say, that you don't want to do, then you can exclude those. For languages, I keep it on English. You can set that up how you want to. And then for budget, I recommend starting with at least $10 a day, because that gives you at least enough data to work off of. If you're doing like $5 or smaller, it can be more difficult to, get enough clicks to be able to see what's working and what's not. But if you want to start with a higher budget, go ahead. If you have a higher budget, start with a higher budget and go from there. Now for bidding, this is important to the setup. We want to go ahead and go down here and select a bid strategy directly. And we want to select manual CPC. Now, one of the benefits of doing single keyword ad groups is you can adjust the bids at a very micro detailed level. And if you're letting Google take over with their AI as far as changing bids and doing different things, you're no longer in control of those bids. And that's the whole point of doing a single keyword ad groups. Now, if you get up to scale and you want to start adding a lot more keywords and you want to do big keyword ad groups and you want to do, maybe based on conversions or different things like that, go ahead and set that up. But for this very beginning part, to at least get a campaign up and going, this is a great way to do it. And then we want to turn off enhanced PPC, because again, that's going to be changing your bids based on what Google thinks and not based on what you're saying. And then ad extensions are going to be different things that you can add onto your ad. The one thing I do recommend that you add is callout extensions. Now, callout extensions are basically small details about you or your product that you want to include. So for example, if it's a natural product, you could say all natural. You could say free shipping if you have free shipping, or different things like that. So they're little benefits, added benefits that you can use onto your ad, and they'll show up on your ad. So those are really helpful to use. Then once we hit save and continue, we're going to go ahead and start setting up the ad group. So I like to name the ad groups after the keyword I'm going to be doing. So we'll just call this vegan protein powder. And then for the default bid, that's going to depend on your category. So certain categories are very competitive. Some categories are not very competitive. It might have lower bids. A good default bid is somewhere between 75 cents and $1. So if you're more competitive, you might start at $1. And if you're not getting any impressions or clicks, you can raise it up. Or if you're getting too many clicks, you can lower the bid down. So it depends. I like to start with $1, but if you have a smaller budget, go ahead and start with 70 cents or 75 cents, and you can adjust it from there. And then for the keyword setup, this is also a very important part. You'll notice down here it says broad match, phrase match, and exact match. What broad match means, it will take any words inside of your keyword and create a phrase off of that. It will trigger your ad. Phrase match means it has to be the exact phrase, plus words at the beginning or the end can also trigger your ad. So if I'm doing vegan protein powder, it will also trigger on vegan protein powder for women. And then exact match means it has to be that exact phrase. So it'll only trigger your ad for vegan protein powder. Now, there's a fourth option that's actually not listed on here, and it's called broad match modifier. And what that means is it has to use every single word inside of your keyword to make up that phrase, but it can be in any order. So for example, it could be vegan protein for women powder, and it would still trigger your keyword. It doesn't matter what order it's in. And for single keyword ad groups, we want to use phrase match, exact match, and broad match modifier. So there's a website that actually makes this very easy. And that website is adwordswrapper.com. You can go ahead and search that AdWords Wrapper or just put in adwordswrapper.com. Go ahead, scroll down here, put in your keyword, and click Wrap Keywords. And what this will do is go ahead and put those different wrappings on your keywords right away. And we'll want to go down here, and this is the one we want, the top right here. Modified broad, phrase match, and exact match. Go ahead and just copy all of those, come back to the ad group, paste it in there, and hit save and continue. Now we're going to be setting up the ads. The final URL is exactly where the person that searches and clicks on your ad is going to end up. So you want to put that as your Shopify product page. Just go ahead, go to your product page, and copy the URL that's at top, and go ahead and put that right here. Now, since this is a demo product, I'm just going to go ahead and put the Amazon listing in there so we have something to go with. And then for the headline, remember I said that we want to include the exact keyword. So if this was vegan protein powder for women, vegan protein powder for women would be on this first headline. But since we're just doing vegan protein powder, we're just going to include that. And then for headline 2, you can really include what you want. You can include another benefit, some feature of your product, something like that. And then for headline 3, you can go ahead and put something there, but sometimes it does show up on your ads and sometimes it doesn't, depending. So don't put really important information on this section, but go ahead and fill it out with another benefit or feature. Or if you're running a sale or something like that, you could say, 50% off, 25% off, 10% off, whatever it is. Then for the display path, which is the URL path I mentioned earlier, go ahead and put your exact keyword again. So I'm just going to go ahead and put vegan protein, and the next one, because I ran out of space here, I'm going to put powder right here. And you can see inside the ad, it will say vegan protein powder. And then for the description, like I said, it can really be anything you want. It's just going to be based on the features and benefits of your product. So I'm going to put features, benefits. And then you want to end with a call to action. So once you've put in your description of your product, go ahead and put something like a shop now or see it here or click here to shop or something like that. And you can also fill out the second description. In the URL options, you don't have to worry about that unless you're using a tracking software that has their own URL that you need to add onto the end of the other URL. So that's quite complicated, but if you're using something like that, this is where you'll put your tracking URL. And then we go ahead and hit done and create next ad. That's where you'll go ahead and create the next ad that you're going to be using for this campaign. So once you have your ads set up, the next thing we want to do is put in our negative keyword list. And how you do that is you go here to your left menu, click on keywords, and then you'll see negative keywords here as an option. So easy as that. Now on the AdWords Wrapper website that I showed you, if you scroll down further, there is a negative keyword section. So you can go ahead and put in a big list of keywords, and it'll add the parentheses to all of them at once. So you can just copy that and paste it here. And for here, you can actually set it to either the campaign or the ad group. If it's on the campaign, that means no ads inside of the entire campaign will trigger if that word is inside of the search term. If you switch that to ad group, that means that that particular ad group that you select here, and we have our vegan protein powder ad group, that means that keyword will not trigger, or this negative keyword will not trigger this particular ad for that ad group. But if there's another ad group that keyword or word is used in inside of the search term, it will still trigger the ad. And another thing to look at here is your search terms. So once you start running ads, you'll start to see the search terms that people are actually putting in to trigger your ads. And that can have a lot of valuable information as far as coming up with new keyword ideas and also for bad keywords that you want to use in your negative list. All right, so the last step is to optimize. And like I was mentioning before, with single keyword ad groups, what you're going to be doing, the whole strategy, is you have these root keywords that you're working off of. And then once you notice particular keywords that are not that keyword, that are getting a lot of impressions or getting some clicks or even sales, and you think it's a good relevant keyword, what you do is you take those keywords and you create a new ad group with just that keyword, and then you negative exact that keyword from the old ad group. So for example, if you have vegan protein powder and you're seeing that vegan protein powder for women is getting a lot of traction, you want to go ahead and create a new ad group with vegan protein powder for women. And then in the negative list, you want to select the ad group vegan protein powder, and you want to negative exact vegan protein powder for women. That way that ad group won't trigger that anymore, and only the new ad group that you set up, particularly for that keyword, will trigger the ad. And the next step of optimization is to go into that search term section and be looking for bad keywords, unrelevant keywords that you want to not have showing up your ads so you're not wasting ad spend. And then you want to adjust your bids. So if you're getting a keyword that's getting a lot of clicks but no sales, maybe you want to go ahead and lower the bid a little bit. Or if you're getting a keyword that's doing well and you want to add more traffic to it, you can go ahead and raise it up if you want to show up higher on the search results as well. So just adjust the bids based on how the keywords are doing. And then you can also create new ads. So you always want to be creating new ads so you have something to split test against the original ads, because maybe one of the ads that you created is not doing as well as it used to or never did well, and you want to go ahead and turn off that ad and just add in a new ad. And then if you have a keyword that's spending a lot of money but is not getting any sales, just go ahead and turn those keywords off so you're not wasting money on those. And that's really all there is to it. I hope this gave you a good foundation to start with to go ahead and get your own campaigns up and running. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to put a like on it. And if you're interested in e-commerce and marketing and more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, join our little community here, and I'll see you in the next video.